All right, so the first one is a classic regression where you're just given a bunch of points. So you should expect to enter that into L1 and L2, right? So to show my work, I make that L1 and L2, X and Y, and for that reason, you know that the X values represent time, the Y values represent height. Okay? So it says here to determine the quadratic equation that models the height over time. And so these are the two that we want. And there's never going to be a question that the first column is your X, the row, I should say, second as your Y. Always going to be the case. Okay. So we go stat, quad calc, quad reg. That's bare minimum. If you want to go more, that's fine. I'm going to go to my home screen. If you go and turn on plot 1 to first look at your points, okay, and you go zoom 9, it looks like a straight line, right? Because it's zooming into a very small piece of the whole quadratic. So don't be thinking it's a linear or anything like that. We're going to perform the regression, so I'm going to go to my home screen. I already did a quadratic regression. Hold on. There we go. And that's what you're supposed to get. Negative 26.81. Okay. Y is equal to negative 26.81x squared plus 616.35x plus that you can round to 6. Yeah. If you went 5.995, that is fine. But if you round to 2 decimals, that's what you get. So 1 mark for that. The initial height, you can just look at your equation. So it is given to you by the y-intercept, but you need to say that it's 6 feet or with a unit, right? Specifically saying that that is the answer right here, because that's not close enough yet. If you put 0.6, we'll take off half today. Okay. How long did it take for the rocket to hit the ground? We're looking for the x-intercept, correct? So we would go y2 is equal to 0, second trace intersect. And I guess this is the part where some of us might have a hard time finding this graph, right? Finding the whole thing. So I'm going to graph this. This is what I get with zoom stat. Okay. You should immediately go to your window, change your x-min to negative, let's say negative 2, and also change your y-min to, I'm going to go negative 10 because there are bigger numbers there. Okay, so now you see your y and your x-axis, and now you got to chase the curve to the right. I'm going 20 right off the bat because I have a feeling that it's going to take even more than that, right? So I'm going to change my x-max to 40. There we go. So I see both legs. Now I just need to chase it a little higher. Oops. I'm going to go 4,500 or something like that. There you go. And there you see your 4 points were right here. That's why it looked like a straight line. So we want this x-intercept here. You let y2 equal to 0, graph it. Then you go second trace 5. Enter, enter, enter. 23.0, right? 23.0 is the point, but you will say 23 seconds. Okay? And then you got it. The domain and range of this situation. For domain, remember, maybe some of you need a little sketch. We're starting at 6, right? We're doing one of these. So you need to know that it goes from 0 to 23 seconds when it comes to time. So here you have 0 to 23. Okay. For your range, you go as low as 0 because you do hit the ground, and as high as the vertex. The vertex is to be determined. Right? You need the vertex for this one. So let's go and find it. Second trace max. Oh, you know how that goes, right? But the vertex is 11.49, 3548.44. Okay, I hope you can see that. but you need that y value of the vertex in particular to answer this properly. So this goes from 0 to 35, 48, 44. Okay. And I will give you 1 mark for the domain and 2 marks for the range. Okay. I will give you 1 mark for having it stated and another mark for you finding the vertex, because it did require you to do that. So this question is not out of 2, it's out of 3. Okay. So let's add this up. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 marks for this page because we did not do the graph. You have everything you need to do the graph. Just a heads up here. Could you use these points to graph? Yes. But it isn't good enough in my opinion. Like, you will just be able to know this part here. You still need your vertex, you still need your x-intercept. Okay? So, as always, vertex-intercepts are the most important points. Backside. Did you recognize this one? Yeah, I just told you I don't copy paste, but every once in a while I do. Even on a test, even on the quiz, if you do your homework, you're probably going to recognize a few this time.
What if for this page you mixed up one of the numbers but you did all right?
If your table is wrong, you go -1 right away. But then we give you the marks for everything that follows. Yeah. Okay, so here's your table. If you have that filled in correctly, no mistakes, you get a full mark for that. Sorry, it's a little smudged up, right? Because guess what? I made a mistake. I was rushing. And so these are the values you're supposed to have in there. If you have even one mistake, we just go -1, but then we'll pretend like everything else follows what you've done, right? Like your equation, basically. What I do is when I mark, I type your equation into my y1, and then I try to see if I get the same answers as you do. That's what I normally do. So to find the equation, we want price and profit to be compared. So obviously stat calc quadreg, okay? And if you do that, you get, here we go, let me just get to that page, negative 16x squared plus 190x, okay? So if you got L1 and L2 mixed up, like if you made plates your L1 and profit your L2, you lose a mark here as well. But then we'll give you the marks where whatever follows it, okay? So what's the maximum profit? It's asking for vertex. Well, you need to find this. So what I do is I use plot 2. You don't have to do this, okay? If you look at my table, L3 and L4, like I use these 2 columns for this question right here. That way I can have both at the same time, right? So I go, when I do my regression, you have to type it in like this, L3, L4, I still want it into Y1. That's the equation we got. If you do a zoom 9, I just need to make sure plot 1 is turned on. In this case, plot 2, sorry. Zoom 9 does an okay job, but not good enough. Actually, this would allow you to find the vertex. You could leave it like this and you'll probably get the vertex. Let's try that actually. My max, because you can see the turning point. So in this case, you'd probably be okay without it, just for this particular question. And there it is, 5.94, 5.94, 564.06. That's the vertex right there. So the price, a price of 594 will give you the maximum profit in this case. How many plates are expected to sell at this price? At this price, you go 564.06, the profit you made, you divide it by that price, and you get the number of plates, which is 94.95. Can't have that, so you just say approximately 95 plates, because we're talking plates. or anything you can measure, like time, temperature, anything like that gets a decimal, but obviously plates, you would want a whole number. What price or prices will give a profit of $500? That's where you're in trouble with this window. So remember, I would just say, make sure you go to your X-min and to your Y-min, change those to a negative, okay? There we go. And Y2 in this case is going to be 500. And so it happens twice. So I will first do my keystrokes. It's part of your work, right? Second, trace, intersect. And then it happens twice. I'll just give you those numbers. It happens at 394, you earn 500 bucks. Or if you charge 794, you also earn 500 bucks. So at a price of 394 or 794, you will earn 500 bucks. Okay, so you need to have, I need to see both points here and then a little statement telling me exactly which number is answering this. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this back side. And 6 for the front, so 12. Question? But do you have these numbers like separately, like, or do you have it like this? But just like with a dollar amount in front of it, then you're fine. Yeah, if they have a dollar amount in front of them, you're fine. Yeah. If you just give us the point, then the province wants to know which numbers are answering this question. So 12. All right? All right.